Right now, at 6, a new Washington agency now investigating 2 deadly police encounters.
If we as a community can have a shared understanding of what the facts are in a particular case, that goes a long way.
Plus, should Vancouver's ban on fireworks be expanded to all of Clark County? Why some firefighters hesitate to get involved in the debate. Then,
we've hit the jackpot as far as recreational opportunities for whitewater folks.
How dam removal on an Oregon river revealed a rafting paradise hidden for more than a century.
And later in sports, as youth participation drops, how some former high school hoops rivals are now joining forces to grow the game.
Obviously, when we get on the court, we go to battle, but off the court, we have the same goal of
Good evening, everyone. We want to get right to breaking news in Cowlitz County, where Washington State Patrol has confirmed a shooting at a home in Lexington. That's an unincorporated community just north of Kelso.
And we are now taking a live picture from near the scene. You can see the police lights there, a lot of police cars in that shot. Right now, police have a stretch of West Side Highway, that's Highway 411, closed in both directions near Lexington Avenue. Nearby I-5 is not affected, so that could be a potential detour. Deputies are in contact with someone they're calling a person of interest and say right now there is no known danger to the public. Our Alma McCarty is headed to the scene right now. She'll have more tonight at 11.
Looks like at least 8 police vehicles there at count. Stay with KGW for the latest from Cowlitz County. For updates anytime, head to KGW.com or the KGW app to sign up for breaking news alerts.
And now at 6, a new Washington agency tasked with looking into law enforcement's use of force is now investigating 2 cases that happened within 48 hours of each other.
One of those, a deadly police shooting in Kitsap County. The other, a deadly stabbing by a Clark County deputy at a Ridgefield way station. John Adams is live in Clark County with the update. John?
Absolutely, David and Christine. We're still awaiting that initial report from OII on that incident that took place late Wednesday night at the way station, where a Clark County deputy stabbed a man to death after the man allegedly lunged for the deputy's firearm. Now, OII did release their first full report earlier this week on another incident that happened right here in Vancouver. In 2021, Washington lawmakers passed legislation creating the Office of Independent Investigation. The agency is tasked with investigating use of deadly force cases by law enforcement.
And the public just wanted independence in the investigation, so someone other than the police agency involved in the case or police agencies that were physically adjacent to or nearby.
OII became operational on December 1st, 2024, and responded to its first incident 4 days later outside a Safeway store in Vancouver after a VPD officer became involved in an altercation with 45-year-old Adam Gunderson. Gunderson was shot in the head and died during the struggle. The full report on that incident was released on Thursday.
And that report details our understanding of what occurred, combined with a good description of what our investigation was that led to that understanding.
Rogoff tells us the goal of the agency is to provide accountability and transparency to the public and to provide resources to the family of the deceased. Their findings are not meant to recommend charges, but to lay out the facts for prosecutors.
If we as a community can have a shared understanding of what the facts are in a particular case, that goes a long way to building trust and allowing people to decide amongst themselves about what kind of accountability is appropriate.
OII currently has 30 investigators and is operational in 12 Washington counties. It says expansion will continue later in 2025 as more employees are hired and resources added. Now back to the incident that took place at the way station. I did contact the Clark County Sheriff's Office earlier today, and they told me they are going to be releasing body cam video of that incident at some point in the next week. Now the full OII report into that incident could take 120 days or longer to come in. David and Christine, back to you.
Appreciate you following up. Thank you so much, John.
In your headlines, a Salem teenager is facing murder charges after a stabbing at a pool hall that left one person dead and another injured. Police say 2 young men arrived at the hospital early Thursday morning with stab wounds and learned they'd been in a fight at the Cue Ball on State Street. One of the victims, 21-year-old Isaac Rizzo, has died. Police say they tracked the 16-year-old suspect to a home in Northeast Salem last night. They took him into custody on charges that include murder and attempted murder.
Portland police are searching for a person who shot a woman near a church and a school in Northeast Portland early this morning. Officers found the woman shot at the playground in front of Trinity Lutheran Church around 2 a.m. She was taken to the hospital and is expected to survive. Police were not able to find any suspects.
It has been nearly 15 years since the disappearance of 7-year-old Kyron Horman, and now the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office has announced it's in the process of digitizing case files as part of a new push in their investigation. Kyron was last seen on the morning of June 4th, 2010 at a science fair at Portland's Skyline Elementary. His stepmother, Terry Horman, says she dropped him off, though he never came home on the bus. The sheriff's office says once the case is digitized and reorganized, the FBA's behavioral analysis team will take a closer look. A $50,000 reward is available for information leading to a resolution in Kyron's case.
Providence Health Plan, the insurance arm of the Providence healthcare system, has laid off more than 50 of its Oregon employees. It comes less than a month after the nonprofit announced a system-wide hiring freeze in a cost-saving effort. Providence says the Trump administration cut its Medicare and Medicaid funding by $500 million, with an additional $1 billion more possible. So far, no layoffs have been announced for workers in the 8 Providence hospitals across Oregon, but more than 50 leadership roles have been cut this year.
And if you're lucky enough to win the Oregon lottery, you can now keep your big payday a secret. That's after Governor Tina Kotek signed a bill that allows winners to stay anonymous. Names and addresses will now be exempt from public disclosure unless the winner gives written consent. That law is set to take effect next year. Celine?
David, it's a really nice day today. We're going to have a pretty nice weekend, okay? Saturday mainly, Sunday a little bit less so. But right now it's looking very nice, looking downtown at the moment. Temperatures in the mid-70s. We're sitting at 76 degrees. Those winds coming out of the north at 6 miles per hour. And again, we get to hold on to the really nice temperatures. We had really great temperatures today. Looks like we right now sitting at 74 in Hillsborough, 73 in Aurora. Lots of 70s. Looks like Bend still holding on to the 80s, sitting at 81 degrees. Along the coast, more 50s. And taking a look at the highs from earlier on today, it was a warm one. We had 77 degrees here at home, 79 in Hood River. Bend even warmer. They were sitting in the mid 80s at 84 degrees, and places like Astoria got up to 62 degrees. So again, we've been dealing with a pretty warm week, and those things do begin to change. We start to cool off and quickly. So taking a look at our futurecast, we're going to look at Sunday morning. We're going to start to see those clouds rolling in really by Saturday night. We get into Sunday morning, and here come the clouds, and here comes the rain by the afternoon. We're going to be dealing with those showers throughout the day on Mother's Day, of course. That continues throughout the rest of Sunday into Monday even. Expect those showers to linger and even a slight chance of thunderstorms again come Monday. And then taking a quick look again at what we should be expecting as we get into the next 3 days. Again, tomorrow, 70s, enjoy it, because after that temperatures drop down to the 60s for Mother's Day. Those showers return and it lingers by Monday, still holding on to the 60s, and that trend continues all the way through next week. We'll talk more about that coming up in a bit. Back to you.
Still looking forward to the weekend, though. Thank you, Celine.
In an update, a Multnomah County judge has sentenced a Portland couple to prison after their toddler overdosed on fentanyl and survived, suffering a life-altering brain injury.
Investigative reporter Kyla Boshi was in the newsroom, or in the courtroom rather, and is now in the newsroom with the details. Kyle.
In court, both parents apologized, admitted they needed treatment, and told the judge they love their child. The 5-year-old is now in the care of state child welfare. Delone Kelly and Samantha Smith pleaded guilty to criminal mistreatment and assault charges. The Portland couple had their sentence nearly doubled after failing to show up for a court hearing in April. The father, Kelly, now faces nearly 6 years in prison. The mother, Smith, was sentenced to almost 5 years. According to prosecutors, in June 2023, the couple's then 3-year-old son overdosed on fentanyl at their Southeast Portland apartment.
You know, from the bottom of my heart, everybody in this room knows that we love our son to death.
Kids need to be safe at home, just like they need to be safe in the community. And so we want to hold people accountable, even when that's parents.
Sadly, this is not an isolated case. Over the past 3 years, the Oregon Poison Center has seen 25 cases of fentanyl exposure involving children younger than 6 years old.
Yeah, heartbreaking statistics there and a heartbreaking case. Thank you, Kyle.
Well, it is May, but Multnomah County is warning people to prepare now for hot days this coming summer. The county says in the last 3 years, 14 people have died due to the heat. Most were men over the age of 60 who had underlying health problems. And the county says nearly 4 out of those 5 deaths occurred in the resident's home. The county also talked about the threshold triggers. You see them here to open cooling centers. Using the National Weather Service heat risk tool levels 1 and 2, the county will begin making plans and doing heat-related outreach operations. Down here, level 3, the county would consider opening centers. Level 4, the county activates those cooling shelters. And yes, Portland summers, you can see the chart, have been trending hotter since the start of the century. In his 2025 summer outlook, meteorologist Rod Hill projects 22 to 31 days of 90-degree or hotter weather with a strong likelihood of 1 to 5 days of triple-digit heat.
And speaking of summer, it is coming, and so is the 4th of July. This week, Vancouver's fire marshal took what some would consider a controversial stance, saying that fireworks and the fireworks ban should be extended countywide.
We would recommend a total ban in the unincorporated parts of Clark County.
So fireworks are banned in the city of Vancouver, but there's no ban in unincorporated areas. And it's a hot button issue. Many people love them. Others hate them because of the noise and the damage they can cause. First responders are often busy on the 4th of July, too. Clark County Fire District 6 has not taken a position on a ban, but they know the reality of fireworks.
There's going to be a lot of property damage. There always is. There's probably going to be personal injuries almost every year. There is at least something. Our crews, we will add additional staff, and they will be running from 7 o'clock at night till at least 4 in the morning. And it's not just going to be the 4th of July. It's going to be weeks before and weeks after.
Good morning.
So Clark County councilors saw a presentation this week laying out just how fireworks on the 4th impact resources. At this point, it's unclear if councilors will consider a ban, but if one does go through, it would not take effect until next year. Coming up tonight on The Story, an Oregon man is going viral on social media for quitting his job, buying a sailboat, and sailing to Hawaii with his cat.
I mean, it sounds like something out of a book, right? Oliver Widger grew up in Clackamas and always dreamed of sailing across the ocean. 3 years ago, he was diagnosed with a condition that affects his spine and could cause paralysis. And so, instead of working, he quit his job, liquidated his 401k, and bought a 33-foot sailboat. Then on April 30th, with his 7-year-old cat Phoenix, he set off for Hawaii. His story has since gone viral with hundreds of thousands of followers.
So I went viral on literally day 1 of the passage. So it's just been I don't even know, man. And then I started, I was fighting for my life for like 5 days while going viral and stuff. So I haven't had time to really process it. Because I've just been so busy and just trying to figure things out. And this is day 1 of crossing.
I can imagine, right? If you'd like to follow his journey, it is called Sailing with Phoenix.
So cool.
Coming up at 6:30, we're going to hear more from Oliver, including how long he plans to stay in Hawaii and where he plans to go next, because guess what? He's not done yet.
Of course not.
Here's a hint further south. Also tropical.
Okay, sounds good.